That's when he allowed Sound to get into position and really do the damage he needed to just kind of roll in and finally finish the game. Neoplanet S is going to be the next map, but we are going to take a quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, day 2 continues here at the MLG Spring Championship, and game 2 between Moonglade and Sound will continue. We are back, and it's time for game 2 of Moonglade versus Sound. Sound took game number 1 in this best of 3, and now we are on Neoplanet S to determine if Sound will take this series or if Moonglade will keep himself alive.
You know, this is a map where there's a lot of debate as to who has the big edge. Obviously, Terran early on has a lot to worry about. Every Zerg all-in happens about twice as fast due to the fact that it's such a tiny map. Also very easy to drop. There's no clear center path. You can do all sorts of dropping. We'll see Whirlwind later in this tournament as well.
Let's introduce our players. Here on Neoplanet S in the southwest position as the Blue Terran. He took game number 1 from Startail. Give it up for Sound!
And up in the top right-hand corner, he's always been a consistent performer in SC2 since the early beta days and would love to make it to the top 16 here at MLG 2013. It is none other than GameCon NB's Moonglade.
Always so cool and collected. Now, I mean, after the last game, you know, Sound had those failed Hellbat drops, didn't really stop him from continuing to try, minimized his losses as well, trying to maximize the damage that he was done. But it was really after that where Moonglade, you know, had some trouble. The third, it was up for a long time, never got fully saturated due to some of the damage that Sound did. But, you know, in this particular game, does Moonglade change anything up in particular? You know, he's like, okay, perfect defense of the drops. What do I need to do differently?
I mean, the one simple adjustment is to leave the Mutalisks back for defense for a long time. In a sense, the basic play you're going for as Zerg in the modern game is starvation. You get 3 bases, Terran, but no more. I will defend, and you will eventually run out of steam. Because, I mean, even though mules help give that little economic boost to Terran, it means that they mine out a lot faster. Especially if you go for a 3-base play, your main and your natural mine out pretty fast, and then you're just left with really 1 base in play for Terran.
So Sound has dropped his CC inside the main this time, because as Sean mentioned, a much shorter map, not a guessing game of where the other player might be as well. You know exactly where they're at, so the Rax goes down as well to create a full wall. Now, will we see any sort of response with a quicker third? Right now, getting enough gas to have speed when pool is done, just droning up. You know, pretty standard so far here for Moonglade.
Yeah, looks like Sound walks in there, sees the timing, and it's pretty easy to know what the Zerg's up to because you can just click on the gas and see, oh, he's mined almost 100. Okay, he went for gas before pool. Speed coming up, very standard map control play from Moonglade. The question really comes down to, is Moonglade going to prepare some sort of Ling Roach bust or Ling Baneling bust, or is he going to try to go for a long-term macro play?
Yeah, and I mean, those things will start to unfold for us here pretty soon. Moonglade getting his double queen.
Yep.
He has not actually started speed yet. There he goes. Wanted to squeeze out a few additional drones there. And of course, he did start his double queen before that speed went down. So the orbital's going and Sound starting to reinforce his front here. In comes the Overlord to be checking for that, and we'll see the land most likely. A couple Zerglings going out here for Moonglade, but we haven't really seen him commit to anything, just drones at this point. And speed should be, well, speed's only about halfway done.
Real standard looking mix.
Yep.
The questions that will identify what's going to be going on is generally the second gas timing from Sound. We're not seeing it yet, which would indicate that he is going for a third command center. We see that factor in. Never mind, there's the gas.
There it is. Zerglings now making their way, trying to get to some map control just outside of Sound's base. He's going to reinforce that wall quite nicely. Of course, we know that a reinforced wall can sometimes just be a big painted target for banelings and roaches.
Oh man, when the banelings roll in and suddenly the Terran's in a red supply, and it's like, I opened wrong.
And yeah, and it can be really nasty. So it looks like drone's going to go off for the third here. And so before any additional gas will come out for Moonglade, continuing to drone production, going to drop that third base at the normal location.
Yep. Now, in this position, you know, some players will occasionally take the side expo instead of the one at the top because it's a little bit easier, you know, to maneuver between your natural and that base. But the fact is, Sound's play is going to be really, really drop heavy. And if you look at the triangle that's formed by the 3 hatches of Moonglade, only the hypotenuse is the exposed edge. The other 2 are the back sides of the map, so it's a lot less space to worry about dropping-wise.
Yeah, and you've got that free space in between the third and the main for the Terran. It's just like the best airspace ever. You can kind of squeeze in there if there's no, at the time, if there is no muted defense at all, and just hop back and forth between the main and the third. It's it can be pretty ridiculous and very hard to defend on. The Hellions out trying to do some work. He saves that one Hellion down to 2 points of health. And meanwhile, with that third base going down, finally we have additional gas coming out from Moonglade, taking 4.
Yeah, that's
main, and
it's kind of an interesting timing that we're seeing out of Moonglade. He's actually getting double evolution chamber, which looks kind of like he wants to go for +1/+1 roaches, but he's going to have to get that roach worn down fast if he wants to be able to stay alive against this Hellbat drop. There's the layer coming up. The Hellions move in. Zerglings are not in a good position. I mean, Moonglade's got to get more units up. He just doesn't have that many.
No, he doesn't at all. In fact, the standing army right now, 26 for for Sound, and only 15 for Moonglade.
And it looks like Moonglade has Sound's number. Didn't even move in to scout. Just saw that there were 4 Hellions and not 6, and that was enough for him to go, all right, this guy is going to be going for Hellbat, so he instantly throws up Spore Spine in every base.
Yeah, and those 2 medevacs full of Hellbats are on their way over right now. And, I mean, if he decides to go in again, the one thing that could be way more damaging than what happened in game number 1 is just the select and the target fire with those Hellbats. And here he's going in yet again and immediately hits the Spy and then the Queen.
And there it looks like Zerglings are going to surround the Hellions outside, so the map control is now going to be gone and done for Startail Sound. He is going to have to rely exclusively on these drops. Those Hellbats are not dying, though. They have so many hit points. The drones!
And he cleans it up. And how many drones did he kill? 3.
3 drones in the units lost tab. A lot more loss for Terran than for Zerg. Most importantly, though, those Hellions in the middle of the map are gone. That means the map control for Sound is greatly diminished. And now it's 1/1 upgrades on the way for Moonglade. That Spine Crawler in the expansion, though, very critical for the defense, because when the Hellbats drop, they auto-target that and not the drones.
Now, Sean, I mean, with the Spire coming up, now we're starting to see some drones go over to the third. We've got another drop coming in. The Banelings almost getting a nice connect there, and he's going to drop to get rid of the Banelings. Almost cleans it up.
Oh no, and Sound messes up and loses a medevac full, but those drones need to run the drones. The drones are the target for Sound right now. I mean, Sound is losing medevacs left and right.
The crazy thing is, this is exactly what happened last game. You know, he lost how many? 6 before he was like, okay, I'm going to Biomine now. You know, it wasn't really successful. And I think one of the differences that we're seeing here is as the Spire was completed for Moonglade in game 1, he literally did not have a single drone at his third base. And now he at least has some level of economy there.
Yeah, it's 62 drones to 51 as opposed to them being tied at 48. So as Moonglade in production has those 8 Mutalisks incoming, we see a tiny force from Sound, but this is actually going to be a liability for Sound, not necessarily a benefit. And Sound has not yet even started the combat shield upgrade. Those are very squishy Marines right now.
Now the first Mutas are going to be making their way out. Looks like Sound's going to make his way through the center of the map and possibly attack here on the third. He's got a lot of different ways to do it. Scans to get rid of these creep tumors, and as you mentioned, will we see these units come into play?
Well, the Mutalisks are rolling on in, and these are very, very low damage, or very, very low health Marines. Hellbats are moving in. The drones are in a very vulnerable position, but it looks like Moonglade's doing his best to pick off the Hellbats, and he's going to try to run, and it looks like the medevacs are taking some serious damage here. And despite some pretty nice control from Moonglade, we're seeing Sound pull way far ahead in the supply count.
Yeah, the Marines controlled so well, Sean, taking out a few of those Mutas as well. And now the Banelings playing Ring Around the Rosy, never even going to hit those Marines, finally running into the larva at the end. He is going to clean them up finally with his Mutas, but we were just talking about how Moonglade had a third, and that is no longer applicable at this point. There's a few more drones coming out, but this is the follow-up. This is exactly what happened. The Hellbats finish. Coming up next, it's Biomine time.
Uh-oh, and it looks like 13 drones are in production right afterwards. Oh, what an amazing follow-up timing push from Sound. I mean, this is a very odd push that most Zergs would never be prepared for. Moonglade droned after that attack finished up, positive that his opponent would not be able to pull off this sort of play, and of course, there it is.
Yeah, that third going down is just, that's got to be very, very hurtful at this point for Moonglade, especially after just getting it established. Good Baneling hit just outside of the natural, but at this point, you know, 87 supply block to 124, and Sound is at that point where those reinforcements are just going to be, you know, relentless. Every single time 2 additional Widow Mines come and you know, 8 additional Marines, just don't know if he's going to have enough to stop this.
The mines backfire a little bit, deal more damage to the medevac than to anything else. Both mines are down. So right now, Moonglade has got a little bit of equalization going on because these Marine forces from Sound are, again, being a little bit like, well, they're really getting thrown away at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, there's all these little, you know, Widow Mine here doing some damage, Widow Mine outside, and again, just as we see Sound continue to stack these reinforcements, it's going to get harder and harder here for Moonglade. A bunch of Zerglings get caught by the Marines out in the middle, not even having to use his Widow Mines quite yet, wanting to hopefully get some shots on the Mutas or the Banelings. And here comes Sound again with 2 medevacs in tow as well. He's going to drop down. The Widow Mine, and could there be a big hit? Oh, nice pickup.
Oh, wow, and he manages to pick off all those Banelings, and now there's a drop at the natural expansion for Moonglade. Sure, he's losing these medevacs at a pretty high pace, but Moonglade is never really getting a chance to get anything established.
No, he's not, and all these Widow Mine hits are just doing a phenomenal job on the Mutas, on the Lings, the Banelings. It really doesn't matter as long as they're hitting solid and numerous targets. This is just, I mean, you see Sound getting closer and closer to Moonglade's base, and eventually I think he's going to be able to take over this natural.
Yeah, it's these little tiny movements out. I mean, this is a very cool style of ZVT. It is not the passive for a long time, and then suddenly Biomine at the end. Nope, Sound has developed a very aggressive play. The third base only just now landing for Sound, but there's no way Moonglade can possibly put in any threat. The mine is part of that drop to the south side. The Queen falls. The Overseer comes in to clean it up, but I mean, like you say, Marcus, he's getting closer and closer into the main with every push.
Yeah, and these little, oh, he almost got another shot off right there. He's got to be careful coming out. The Mutas take another hit, and these drops are everywhere for Sound. He's in the 30s, in the main, he's outside the natural, he's in the natural, and the Widow Mines are doing an enormous amount of damage, but the Muta count is getting higher. Is there any possibility for Moonglade to try to make a bounce back with 58 SCVs to 46 drones, and the fact that that third base has not been able to be established? I don't think it's going to be possible.
It's going to be so hard. I mean, Sound has really had a very small amount of missteps in all of these games. The third base falls for Moonglade again. This is all Sound wants. Sound at this point doesn't even care if he's getting negative engagements. We see the units lost tab actually favoring Moonglade. Sound losing more than he is dealing in terms of damage, and that is exactly what he wants. He has 3 bases versus Moonglade's 2. It doesn't matter if these trades are inefficient. He's getting a bigger and bigger and bigger economic edge as time passes.
And yeah, Marine's going to move forward. They're going to take out another Evo Chamber. 3 medevacs. He probably does not want to lose those. A couple of Mutas do go down, and he will decide to back away. And again, as he backs away, here comes another reinforcing group. He did stim that army to get them there quicker. Another Widow Mine goes down, and it's killed.
Oh, and he kills the full medevac. Uh-oh.
Oh, look at that.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Finally manages to clean that up. Let's take a look at the state of damage and sort of where these two players are, as Moonglade sitting with 43 drones at 102 supply, so he has taken the supply lead, but that third base still trying to get that reestablished.
I mean, the real question right now for Moonglade is how does he deal damage to the third? Sound, getting a turret up, getting bunker up. Moonglade's making a hard cut down to bottom right. Very cool little formation in the mid there. And will he be able to work his way up? There's nothing there to defend. There's nothing there to defend.
Oh, wow. This is exactly what Moonglade needed. He goes in, the expansion completely naked. A bunker gets finished up in the back, but it has no Marines inside. Big Baneling hit. The SCVs
and he gets
fall.
It down.
Beautiful.
In a heartbeat, Moonglade has given himself hope. killed 24 SCVs in one blast, but I mean, Moonglade still has to stay focused. I mean, he is at 1-1 upgrades, and we're seeing Sound. Oh, brutal hit. We're seeing Sound all the way, almost done with 3-3 at this point.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. I mean, with both of the Evo chambers going down, actually just the one Evo chamber going down, upgrades have pretty much stopped. These are 1-1 ground units here. Oh, the Baneling's coming in. They go ahead and just sacrifice themselves on the Widowmines. But it is a good sacrifice, as it means that they can no longer fire. He's got Banelings, and there's only one Widowmine here as far as I can tell. So he's got to stop this drop first at the third. While that happens, big attack at the natural.
Yeah, it looks like Moonglade's feeling very leery to split his army up. We've been seeing the damage that these mines have dealt. Banelings are rolling in, but oh god, the natural expansion falls. Sound loads up. He loses one. Will he lose more? Oh, big hits on those. Oh. Ouch! Massive damage being dealt, but Sound plummeting down to 70 supply, and this is actually a 2-base Zerg.
He does, but right now there's no production.
Oh my god, and there's no money. Sound's main and natural are almost mined out. No, are you serious? Is Moonglade gonna pull this off after being on the back foot all game long? Another gigantic hit on those Mutalisks, but the Marine count is getting very, very low. There's the orbital command. If Moonglade can take that out, there is almost nothing that Sound can do to get back in this game. It's at 400, it's at 250, the Marines roll in, they can't micro, and he takes it down!
Oh my gosh. Now, I mean, one thing to keep in mind, can Moonglade continue this pressure? Because here, and there it is, the lift of the command center and the main to take it to the third. The thing is that now Sound has to make sure that nothing happens to this base. And he can't leave it. He's going to be forced to defend. I do like some of these Widow Mines placed around to prevent some additional expansions from going up. But the third now, finally up, I guess you could call Moonglade's third his natural. Yeah. As his natural's being rebuilt into his third. But keep in mind, there's not really a whole lot of minerals there, so it's more for the larva. And now we're seeing the SCV's long distance mine as he's going to hopefully get that third reestablished. But the Muta's coming in to try to do some damage. I think Moonglade he's clawing his way up this hole that he's in.
Moonglade's starting to realize, wait a minute, your natural's mined out. Your third expansion is the only thing running for you right now. But the danger for Moonglade is the upgrades. 3-3 done. Yeah. Those Marines dealing 6 damage per hit are only dealing 3 damage to each Marine shot. So Moonglade's coming in, he's going to try to pick off a couple mules here and there. And it looks like he's going to go for some sort of pincer, but I mean, the Banelings are going to be the only unit that Moonglade can really use. Moonglade really needs to get his natural expansion up and running, because right now, he only has 2 drones mining gas from that. 28 of his workers are up at that top base. Oh, that sensor tower is up as well, and so it's going to see this attack coming in from the rock entrance, and he's going to go in with the Banelings. If he takes out the SCVs, oh, he might take out the command center. Is he going to try to take that out? Oh my gosh, he's going to try to go. Oh, he's got to be careful. What does he decide to do? Oh my god, SCVs. And there is the lift. He does not sacrifice all of them. It is up to now 43. In fact, we're tied on workers killed across the board. And that leaves only 16 SCVs left for Sound. Now, Moonglade's going to have to control this very well. Sound has a terrifying army, 82 supply army. And there he's going for it. Oh, nice. This is going to be so close. Sound's army is much, much larger than Moonglade's, but Moonglade just needs a couple of key Baneling hits to win this game. 11 SCVs and a lot of Lings coming out right now. As you mentioned, those upgrades are going to be huge. I mean, he has to get the orbital command. Baneling hits. It's going to fall. He needs to run. The mines are there. And the Mutas need to get back home. I mean, eventually they're going to be able to sneak into the main, possibly do some more damage. He's got to be aware of these Widow Mines. There's not a whole lot out, Sean, but this is going to be the moment. And again, the Baneling hits have to be immaculate here. Yeah, I mean, this is an extremely tense game. I'm not even convinced that Moonglade should try to engage right now. There's or maybe wait until he goes in. Oh, and there's the mines moving in. It hits on the Lings. The Banelings roll in. The connections are okay, not amazing. It's still just inches away, and Sound's upgrades looks like they might be enough. Oh, good game. A great effort by Moonglade, but Sound does manage to pull it off, and you said it several times, and it is so true. The upgrades ended up winning that battle. I thought that Moonglade was going to be able to bring that back, but the Widow Mines
there is obviously a big concern, and then the 3-3 Marines. Nasty. Sound, congratulations, takes it 2-0.
Sound will now be advancing on to face the winner of Heart and Apocalypse, playing right now in Open Winners Round 3. Moonglade will fall to the lower bracket where he still has a second chance to be able to get back in this tournament to work his way through the lowers.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, this is a double elimination, 128-man open bracket. And with that means that today, unfortunately, we're going to see some people go home. Like, it is an elimination day. Tomorrow is the elimination day. But today, the Spring Championship Dreams will be shut down for several players. And we should be going into those later rounds a little bit later on during the day. I'm not sure what our next matchup is going to be here on the stage.
That's right. I mean, going on right now, of course, Open Winners Round 3 games. We're seeing a lot of those, but also Losers Round 2 matches coming up. And that is where the notable eliminations begin. Right. Even though it was an open bracket sign-up, so many good players with their tournament, it is stacked in the lower bracket as well.
I just got word that our next matchup is going to be Hero versus Select right here on the main stage for Day 2 of the Spring Championships. We are going to take a break before this next match gets underway, but thank you for coming out and thank you for watching. I'm DJ Wheat.
I'm Day 9. Head to MLG.tv. 6 streams of action going on, and coming up next is going to be Hero.
Today, unfortunately, we're going to see some people go home. Like, it is an elimination day. Tomorrow is the elimination day. But today, the Spring Championship Dreams will be shut down for several players. And we should be going into those later rounds a little bit later on during the day. I'm not sure what our next matchup is going to be here on the stage.
That's right. I mean, going on right now, of course, Open Winners Round 3 games. We're seeing a lot of those, but also Losers Round 2 matches coming up. And that is where the notable eliminations begin. Right. Even though it was an open bracket sign-up, so many good players with their tournament, it is stacked in the lower bracket as well.
I just got word that our next matchup is going to be Hero versus Select right here on the main stage for Day 2 of the Spring Championships. We are going to take a break before this next match gets underway, but thank you for coming out and thank you for watching. I'm DJ Wheat.
I'm Day 9. Head to MLG.tv. 6 streams of action going on, and coming up next is going to be Hero